Welcome to the dashboard, your highlight reel of need-to-know DOT compliance updates, driver and transportation topics, hiring and onboarding tips, and background check best practices from the experts at Foley. Let's drive your business forward together. Episode 15 concludes our mini-series that covers complex DOT compliance topics for those who may be new to managing DOT compliance. Foley is here to answer your questions about DOT, compliance, and prepare your business for DOT audits. You may remember part 1 of this series that we published previously. As promised, here's part 2. As a refresher, these episodes are meant to help anyone in a new position who is now responsible for managing DOT compliance for their company. It's a major responsibility that should never be taken lightly, as violations and expensive fines can result from neglecting your compliance requirements. But you're here because you want to stay compliant and follow federal motor carrier safety regulations. Foley is happy to give you the information you need to do just that. In this part of our series, we'll answer the following questions. What is the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse? How often do I need to check my driver's motor vehicle records? What are driver qualification files? What is DOT record keeping, and how do I keep compliant records? And what happens during a DOT compliance audit? What is the FMCSA Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse? Officially established on January 5, 2020, the FMCSA Clearinghouse is an online database that gives employers, state driver licensing agencies, and law enforcement personnel real-time information about CDL drivers' drug and alcohol program violations. The Clearinghouse contains information about CDL drivers who are covered by FMCSA's drug and alcohol program. This also includes drivers with commercial learner's permits. As an employer, you are required to check the Clearinghouse, also often referred to as running Clearinghouse queries, for driver drug and alcohol violations during the pre-employment process and on an annual basis. You must run a Clearinghouse query on employees before they start driving on behalf of your company. You're also required to run Clearinghouse queries on each of your CDL drivers once per calendar year. How often do I need to check my driver's motor vehicle records? In addition to checking the FMCSA Clearinghouse, you also need to look into your driver's motor vehicle records at certain points of their employment. The report provides the driver's current license status, accident history, and record of driving violations. Before hiring a CDL driver, you must obtain MVR checks from each state in which an applicant held a license or permit during the last 3 years. Copies of those records must be added to the driver qualification file within 30 days of employment. If you do not receive an employee's MVRs, your effort to obtain them must be documented, and/or you must certify that a driving record does not exist for that employee. You must also run an updated MVR check on your drivers on an annual basis to ensure they are still qualified to drive a CMV, and see if there are any violations you were unaware of that occurred during the year. MVR monitoring can remove the mystery in the 11 months between each annual MVR check. What if you pulled your driver's MVR today and they committed a moving violation tomorrow? You may not be able to count on every driver to inform you if they're given a speeding ticket or involved in an accident. What are driver qualification files? Driver qualification files, or simply driver files, must be maintained for every employee who operates a commercial motor vehicle. Any driver who is regulated by the FMCSA needs a driver file. It contains important documents from the hiring process, annual MVR checks, medical cards, training records, and additional qualification records. What is DOT record keeping, and how do I keep compliant records? Record keeping is a crucial component of DOT compliance. You must keep certain records for allotted periods of time in order to comply with federal regulations. You can refer to Foley's DOT record-keeping checklist for all the documents you must keep and for how long. All the records listed may need to be provided in a digital format during a DOT compliance audit, which we'll cover today. What happens during a DOT compliance audit? DOT compliance reviews can occur in one of two ways. One, on-site, where a DOT officer will come to your place of business, and two, off-site, where a DOT officer will conduct your review via remote technology. Option number 2 is much more likely, especially considering off-site audits are up 400% since 2019, If you are contacted by the DOT, they will notify you how much time you have to prepare all the necessary documents to present during your audit. This time period is usually very short, sometimes as little as 48 hours from their initial notification. An off-site audit will require you to submit specific documents requested by the auditor in a digital format. Piles of paperwork simply won't cut it. But if you use DOT compliance software, you won't have to scramble to locate and organize your documents at the last minute. They will already be up to date and securely stored in your account, ready to submit to the DOT. Your company's chances of facing a compliance review are higher if it meets certain intervention thresholds. The keys to avoiding audits are employing safe drivers, passing roadside inspections, and ongoing compliance. Automation equals easier DOT compliance management. Now that our two-part New to DOT Compliance series is complete, we hope you feel more confident in handling your company's compliance needs. But if you're still worried about doing it on your own, don't worry, there's a better way. Foley's comprehensive DOT compliance software fulfills your federal requirements, including clearinghouse compliance, MVR checks, and record keeping on an ongoing basis. If your company ever faces an audit, you can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing your compliance efforts are in good hands. Our screening, hiring, and onboarding software can also help you get new employees behind the wheel of your company vehicles faster while complying with DOT requirements. If your company is growing, you need to see all that Dash has to offer. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Dashboard by Foley. Whether you need to streamline employee onboarding, meet DOT compliance requirements, or mitigate your company's risk level, Foley is your trusted partner behind the software that adapts to your needs. Visit foleyservices.com for additional resources and information, or call us at 860-854-8948. Thank you for listening.